there was no deliberate attempt on the part of the Nigerian Senate to delay the amendment of the Electoral Act. Our intention had always been to ensure that we do our best and we do it painstakingly, taking our time to ensure that what comes out reflects the yearnings and aspirations of all Nigerians. And also to be sure that the next election, all questions connected with the next election will be answered by the amendments to the Electoral Act 2022. But the social media already is awash with the fact that the Senate has rejected electronic transmission. That is not true. That is not true. Electronic transmission had always been in our act. And what we did was to return the electronic transmission, which had been in our act and which was used in 2022. So please do not allow people to confuse you. If you are in doubt, we will make our final votes and proceedings available to you if you apply and you are entitled, so that you will see this Senate under my watch has not rejected electronic transmission of results. It's in my interest as a participant in the next election for such to be done. So please don't go with the crowd. Don't go with the crowd. We have retained what was in the previous provision. That's all we did. So if we rejected what was proposed by way of amendment and said, let's retain what was in the previous provision, the previous provision had made allowance, had made provision for electronic transmission. So it is still there as part of our laws. And I think we should be moving forward, not moving backwards. There is no way we can, in this era of electronics, will now be going backwards. So it's important to know that. So the membership of the conference committee.
I don't know what the Senate is doing with the Electoral Act repeal and reenactment bill before them. The House of Rep have passed that bill. They are simply to just pass it so they can harmonize and send it to the states. And once those ones finish and we have to third, send it to the president for his assent as quickly as they can, so that the law becomes operational. And INEC uses that law, the new amended law, Electoral Act 2025, as the basis to conduct the elections of 2027, But INEC is strong now because they can't even move on timelines and guidelines for the election because they don't know what will happen. And they are counting down. The days are going. We'll get to a certain date where INEC will conclude that we have to now conduct the elections with the existing law, the 2022 law, which a lot of people have faulted, that is the worst electoral law to conduct any elections in this country. And it's to change. And for 2.5 years now, the National Assembly that has the responsibility to change these laws, have a bill before it, the repeal and reenactment bill, and even though the House has not passed it, the Senate has been delaying on this. We saw what happened last week. Something they could easily debate and pass and vote on and pass. The Senate President set up ad hoc committee, 7-man, to do this work. The 7-man committee came back with their report yesterday. They went into closed door session for 4 hours, Emmanuel, yesterday. We don't know what they discussed on this. They came out and they couldn't move. They couldn't vote. They couldn't debate. They couldn't agree. They couldn't pass it again. And they adjourned. They adjourned plenary. Today, I'm sure they will return. I don't know if they'll go back to this, but the more these delays, the more it tells you that some people in the Senate, and I hope this is not the leadership, have an interest in not seeing this bill passed. I hear that Simon Lalong has resurfaced, the chairman of Senate Committee on Electoral Matters, on whose lap this actually sits on. He's the one that is supposed to drive this process to get this bill passed. He was absent from... In fact, he was absent since last year. When the Senate resumed this year, he didn't come to work, But I heard I was around yesterday, So we'll see what happens. But this delay is becoming very suspect and suspicious. Nigerians are asking, do we really want to conduct the elections in 2027 using the 2022 Electoral Act as amended? That Electoral Act is too dangerous for any decent election. We saw it in 2023. You know, we saw when at collation, you know, they'll bring mangled papers and the law is the law, they say. That needs to change. In the new amendments, collation becomes like voting, you know, like transmission of results, electronic. You know, a lot of things needs to change in the way we conduct elections, and the law is the precursor, is the driver for this change.
If care is not taken, the elections in 2027, even if it holds, will just be a mere formality. The rate at which we are going. How long is it going to take us to have electoral reforms? If we are dead serious about it. How long? You know, this report says that Nigeria's electoral reforms efforts stalled again yesterday as the Senate emerged from a 4-hour closed session on the electoral amendment bill without a decision, raising concerns that politically sensitive transparency measures are being delayed as the country edges closer to future polls. Lawmakers entered the executive session at about 1 p.m. I wonder what they were doing from 9. At about 1 p.m., after Senate leader Okoyemi Bamidele moved the motion to resume the deferred clause-by-clause consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Electoral Matters, chaired by Simon Lalong. The session lasted more than 4 hours, with plenary reconvening at about 5:30. However, the chamber offered no clarity on the bill. Addressing lawmakers, the Senate President said members had deliberated on issues concerning the Senate in particular and the nation in general, before asking the chamber to affirm that the outcome reflected the work of the committee of the whole. Members agreed, and the matter was closed.